I always thought I'd know when something was wrong. I'm not an idiot. I've dated before. I've seen the signs, the pulling away, the late replies, the sudden work emergencies that didn't quite add up. But with Emily, I never imagined I'd need to look for them. We were solid, engaged for 6 months, wedding planned down to the last ribbon on the chair covers. My mom cried when Emily said yes. My friends all told me I'd won the lottery. And I believed it until 3 weeks before the wedding. It started small. She stopped texting goodnight, started sleeping with her phone face down, laughed less, looked more tired, always seemed to be somewhere else, even when she was sitting right next to me on the couch. At first, I chalked it up to wedding stress. God knows we had enough of that. Deposits, family drama, and a venue that double booked us until Emily's. Nearly screamed at the manager. I thought she was just exhausted. But then I caught her crying in the bathroom. Not soft crying. Not wedding overwhelmed tears. This was silent, shaking, full body sobbing. I knocked. Em? You okay? She sniffed, cleared her throat. Yeah, just tired. But her voice was off. Her eyes were red for the rest of the night. I didn't push. Maybe I should have, but something in me whispered, don't ask yet. The next day, she was back to normal, making pancakes, kissing my cheek, laughing at my dumb jokes like nothing had happened. But I noticed a few days later, I came home early from work. Emily wasn't expecting me. She was in the office, on her laptop, headphones in. The second she saw me, she slammed the laptop shut. Hard, too hard. Hey, I said slowly. Everything okay? She smiled, forced. Yeah, just work stuff. Since when do you slam work stuff closed like you're hiding a murder weapon? She laughed, but her hands were shaking. Seriously, Em, what's going on? Nothing. Too fast, too sharp. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept staring at the ceiling, wondering if I was paranoid, or if the woman I was about to marry was keeping something from me. And then I made a decision I'm still not proud of. When she went for a run the next morning, I opened her laptop. Wasn't password protected. Emily always said she had nothing to hide. Except she did. I opened her email first, nothing weird. Then her folders, still normal. Then I found a folder on her desktop. It was labeled something simple. Generic. Work. Docs. But inside, there were no spreadsheets or reports, just letters, dozens of them. Each titled with a date, each written in her voice, but not addressed to me. The first one started with, Dear Thomas. My heart dropped. I don't know who Thomas is. I don't know why she's writing to him. But as I started reading, one thing became clear. Fiancée had a life I never knew about. And whatever it wasn't over. I didn't know how long I sat there, staring at the screen. The words blurred in front of me, my heart pounding so hard I could hear it in my ears. I opened the first letter again, dated almost 4 months ago, a month into our engagement. Dear Thomas, I don't know why I keep writing these. You'll never read them. But somehow it helps. Helps me pretend I didn't make the biggest mistake of my life. I swallowed hard. I was Thomas, wasn't I? No, I wasn't. She wasn't writing to me. And this wasn't a journal entry. It was emotional, intimate, loaded with things she never told me. She wrote like she still loved this guy. I opened another. Sometimes I dream about you showing up at the wedding, telling me to stop, that I don't have to go through with it, that it's not too late. Another. He's a good man, kind, he'd make a great father, but he's not you. I felt sick. It wasn't a fling. It wasn't some old ex she occasionally thought about. This was someone she never stopped loving, and she was still thinking about him, writing to him. Even while planning a future with me, I needed air. I practically ran out of the house and paced the front yard like a man unhinged. I didn't know whether to scream or cry or drive away and never come back. But I didn't. I waited. I waited until she came back from her run, and I asked her, calmly, somehow, who Thomas was. She froze. Right there on the front step. Her. Face went pale like I just told her someone died. Why are you asking? Because I read your letters. Her hand flew to her mouth. Oh my God. I waited. You weren't supposed to see those, she said, voice shaking. Yeah. I figured that out around the third time you said you wished I was someone else. She didn't argue, didn't deny it, didn't even cry. She just looked at me like I'd broken some unspoken rule. Inside, we sat down. She offered me tea, of all things. I said no. So? I asked. Want to tell me who he is? She looked down. He was everything. My college boyfriend. My first love. We were together for 5 years. I didn't interrupt. We broke up when he got a job across the country. I thought I was okay. I thought I moved on. But then, you proposed and I kept thinking, what if I said yes too fast? What if I'm trying to replace someone I never really let go of? It stung. Every word felt like a slap. So, this whole time, while we've been planning our future, you've been, what? Mourning him. Not mourning, she said quietly. Just comparing. I didn't yell. I didn't throw anything. I didn't even accuse her of cheating, because deep down I knew she hadn't. Not physically anyway. But emotionally, she wasn't mine, and now I couldn't unknow it. I asked her the one question I wasn't sure I wanted the answer to. If he showed up at our wedding, would you leave with him? She didn't answer. Her silence was louder than anything she could have said. That night, I slept on the couch. She stayed in our bedroom, quiet, barely moving, like a ghost trapped in the wrong house. I didn't know what to do. The wedding was in 16 days. People had flights booked. Gifts had arrived. The florist was paid. But nothing felt real anymore. And then, the next morning, I found a new letter. It wasn't in her folder. It was printed. Folded. Tucked inside my laptop bag. The envelope said, "For you." And what was inside changed everything. I held the envelope in my hands for a long time. It was simple. No stamp, no markings. Just my name in her handwriting. Not babe, not honey. Just my actual name. It felt like the kind of letter you write when you've already made a decision. I sat at the kitchen table, barely breathing, and opened it. I never meant for you to read the others, not because they were secrets, but because they were part of something I needed to let go of, or thought I did. I wrote them instead of calling him, instead of messaging, instead of leaving you. I paused. My fingers clenched the edges of the paper. You asked me if I'd leave with him if he showed up at the wedding, and I couldn't answer. Not because the answer is yes, but because I don't know. And that's the most terrifying part. She admitted it. She didn't know. I think that hurt more than a yes. You deserve someone who never hesitates. Someone who doesn't need to write letters to ghosts from the past. I wanted to love you fully. I really did. And maybe I do, in the version of me that never met him. But in this one, I'm still standing at a fork in the road, pretending. I'm not. I felt nauseous, like the floor had tilted under me and nothing was stable anymore. If you're reading this, I probably didn't have the courage to say it out loud. I'm sorry. You didn't do anything wrong. I just don't know if marrying you would be fair to either of us. That was it. No dramatic goodbye. No begging for forgiveness. Just the most painful kind of honesty. The kind that left me with no illusions. She didn't love me enough. Or maybe she did. But not in the way you're supposed to love someone you marry. I didn't call her. Didn't confront her again. I just left the letter on the kitchen table and went for a drive. No destination. Just roads and static and a deep, hollow ache that wouldn't go away. By the time I came home, she was gone. Her dress. Her toothbrush. The framed photo of us from our engagement shoot. All gone. But the weirdest part, The letters were gone too. Every file, every trace, deleted from the laptop, folder missing. Like they never existed. Except I remembered every word. I thought that was the end. I told everyone we called off the wedding because we weren't ready. That we'd mutually agreed that it was for the best. But then, 3 weeks later, I got a message on Facebook. No name. No profile picture. Just one sentence. You don't know the whole story. She was protecting you. I froze. Clicked on the profile. It was new, blank. But the message was real, and the person who sent it was named Thomas. I stared at the message from Thomas for what felt like hours. You don't know the whole story. She was protecting you. Protecting me? From what? I debated responding. My gut told me this could be a prank. Or worse, someone trying to stir up more chaos after everything had already collapsed. But curiosity won. I messaged back. What do you mean? He replied 2 minutes later. Can we talk? Not here. Call me. He sent a number. US area code. I hesitated, then dialed. A man picked up after one ring. His voice was calm. Older than I expected. Confident, but tired. You're engaged to Emily? Was. Right. Look, I'm not here to make this worse. I know this is messy, but... You deserve to know what happened. Why she left. I didn't say anything. She didn't leave because she didn't love you. She left because of me. And what I did to her. My heart sank. He told me everything. They dated in college. Long. Distance ruined them, but not before they found out she was pregnant. That part Emily never told me. She lost the baby, Thomas said, voice cracking. And I wasn't there. I ghosted her for a month. I couldn't handle it. It broke her. He admitted it. She stopped trusting anyone. She never really healed. Then years later, she met me. She told me she was finally happy, but when you proposed, she panicked. She started writing to me again, even if she never sent them. He paused. I found the letters because she did send one, just one. A few months ago, she said goodbye, said she was choosing you. I blinked. Then why the hell did she leave? Because I called her. I told her something I should have told her a long time ago. He exhaled. She didn't just lose the baby. There were complications. Doctors told her she might not be able to have kids again. My stomach dropped. She didn't want to tell you. She thought you wanted a family, and she couldn't give you that. So she walked away. I sat in silence, processing. All the late night crying, the distance, the letters. It wasn't just doubt. It was grief, shame, fear. She wasn't comparing me to Thomas. She was trying to say goodbye to a part of herself she never forgave. And then she found out she might never be able to give me the life I dreamed of. And she chose to leave, thinking it was an act of love. She didn't leave you, Thomas said. She just couldn't bear to see you settle. After that call, I didn't know what to do. I didn't tell anyone what I'd learned. I didn't reach out to her. But a week later, I got a letter. Real. Paper. No return address. Inside was one line, handwritten in soft blue ink. I'm sorry I didn't stay to explain. I just couldn't let you settle for half a heart. No signature. Just closure. Or maybe the start of something I'll never quite finish processing. But here's the thing. Even now, months later, I still wonder, if she had just told me the truth, all of it, would I have married her anyway? Would you?